Well, good afternoon and welcome to the 125th anniversary celebration of the Johns Hopkins Hospital. 125 years ago today, on a sunny, pleasant May 7th, 1889, a large crowd that included employees, not unlike those of you before me today, gathered in the rotunda beneath the great dome of what we now call the Billings Administration Building. They were there to celebrate the opening of the then brand new Johns Hopkins Hospital. They listened to Hopkins' first president, Daniel Coit Gilman, and the hospital's designer, John Shaw Billings, as they spoke of their aspirations for what they then believed to be the most innovative hospital in the entire country. And as Billings ended his speech with a ringing invocation, he said, "Let us hope that before the last sands have run out from beneath the feet of the years of the 19th century, it will have become a model of its kind, and that upon the centennial of its anniversary, it will be a hospital which shall still compare favorably, not only in structure and arrangement, but also in results achieved with any institution of like character in existence." And a century to the day later, on May 7th, 1989, a similarly large group, including 125 collateral descendants of Mr. Johns Hopkins, also assembled beneath that soaring dome to celebrate the hospital's 100th birthday. Now, as we mark the hospital's 125th anniversary, we can look back on an astounding quarter century of achievements since our last celebration 25 years ago. Achievements that have had a profound impact on healthcare not only here in Baltimore and Maryland, but across the nation and around the world. What I believe is especially important to emphasize is that virtually none of these accomplishments could have come to pass without the exceptional dedication and hard work of so many of you here this afternoon. Just consider, indicative of your extraordinary efforts is the fact that for the last 22 of the last 24 years, U.S. News and World Report has named us the best hospital in the country, based largely on nationwide surveys of thousands of physicians. You are responsible for that. The renown for which Hopkins Hospital is justly celebrated and to which you have contributed so greatly also was highlighted in two multi-part award-winning TV documentaries, Hopkins 24/7 in 2000 and Hopkins in 2008. In addition, while we are celebrating National Nurses Week during this month of May, I should add that a 5-part 2001 TV series entitled Nurses spotlighted these remarkable Hopkins caregivers. Their teamwork, innovation, and professionalism have earned us the American Nurses Credentialing Center's coveted magnet designation for nursing excellence repeatedly since 2003, when Johns Hopkins became the first hospital in Maryland so honored. Now let me reflect a little bit on history, which sheds light on the importance of our employees as a central concern of the Hopkins Hospital, literally since our founding. Case in point, about 120 years ago, the chief nurse in our main operating room complained that she got a terrible rash from mercuric chloride sterilizing fluid she was instructed to use for cleaning surgical instruments. The surgeon-in-chief decided to do something about that. He designed a thin, protective rubber glove that he asked the Goodyear Rubber Company to make so that the nurse's hands and forearms would be shielded from the harsh disinfectant. That concerned surgeon was none other than William Stewart Halstead, one of the founding 4 doctors of the Johns Hopkins Hospital and School of Medicine, and the nurse was Caroline Hampton, who shortly thereafter became Mrs. Halstead. Although Halstead's assistant surgeons and the great man himself would later don rubber gloves to stem the spread of infection to protect patients during operations, fact is that these landmark surgical implements originally were invented to protect an employee of the Johns Hopkins Hospital, not a patient. Ironically, the rubber glove's birthplace also has become the first to ban them In 2008, the Johns Hopkins Hospital became the first major medical institution to become latex safe by ending all use of latex gloves and almost all medical latex products in an effort to make us safer for both healthcare workers and patients with latex allergies. Our elimination of latex products 5 years ago is just one example of the initiatives and efforts to improve the working conditions and lives of our employees in the quarter century since the Johns Hopkins Hospital last big birthday celebration. Now, as many of you know, as far back as 1990, our efforts to improve employee diversity and advancement began with the Department of Medicine's Task Force on Women's Academic Careers in Medicine. The work of the task force and its related undertakings has resulted in a staggering increase in the number of women attaining the full rank of professor in our School of Medicine. In fact, by 2010, the number of women who had attained full professorship had jumped to 155, with 100 of them promoted in just the preceding 10 years. Of course, the majority of these full professors are members of the medical staff of the Johns Hopkins Hospital. In addition to enhancing the role of women in our academic ranks, we've also made concerted efforts to increase the number of underrepresented minorities on our staff as well as within our training programs, and to improve the opportunities for all employees to advance up the employment ladder. We've achieved some notable successes, but I'll be the first to admit that there is much that remains to be done. Now, helping Hopkins employees bolster their educational credentials and upgrade their job skills has been the goal of several programs launched in recent years. Beginning in 2004, Project REACH, which stands for Resources and Education for the Advancement of Careers at Johns Hopkins, has opened the doors for hundreds of employees to enter training programs for allied health care positions that chronically face critical shortages in this country. Project REACH enables employees with at least 1 year of satisfactory full-time service to attend classes during work hours while still being paid, so long as they commit to repaying Hopkins in years of service. Under this and other programs, it has been possible for entry-level employees to advance to such positions as respiratory therapist, pharmacy technologist, or medical coder. We also offer programs in certification, training for managerial and supervisory positions, and professional development. It's also noteworthy that back in 2001, we opened the Johns Hopkins Early Learning and Child Care Center, containing classrooms, a crafts room, a conference room and kitchen. It was built to accommodate the children of our employees. Development of this center reflects our commitment to becoming one of the nation's best places to work. Now, as you are all well aware, during this last quarter century, the Johns Hopkins Hospital has undergone prolific physical redevelopment, culminating most recently with the 2012 opening of our billion-dollar, 1.6 million square foot Sheikh Zayed Cardiovascular and Critical Care Adult Tower and the Charlotte R. Bloomberg Children's Center. I'm particularly proud of the fact that when the time came in April of 2012 to transfer 271 patients from our historic buildings to our glittering new facilities, some 3,700 staff members participated in the two-day move. The average move time was an astonishing 9 minutes. You did that after participating in 171 weekly planning meetings, 43 monthly operational briefings, 2 mock moves, and 2 dress rehearsals. I could compare it to an intricate ballet of staff, patients, and their belongings, equipment, and family members, exquisitely choreographed, flawlessly executed, and worthy of a standing ovation. Among my most vivid memories of this era, albeit somber, were the tragic deaths in 2001 of pediatric patient Josie King and Ellen Roche, who was a 24-year-old research subject who was actually one of our employees on our Bayview campus. On the heels of those preventable deaths, that very year, Drs. Brody, who was then president of the university, Dr. Miller, who was the dean and CEO of Johns Hopkins Medicine, and I mandated that patient safety would become Johns Hopkins Medicine's top priority. And in 2002, we jointly funded the Center for Innovation and Quality Patient Care, dedicated to the principal purpose of reduction of harm. This commitment to patient safety and quality improvement was reaffirmed by the 2011 creation of our Armstrong Institute for Patient Safety and Quality, thanks to a magnificent gift given by Chairman Mike Armstrong. Our work and reputation in this crucial area has benefited immensely from the determination of our employees to provide the best and safest care possible to patients. And now we emphatically state in our strategic plan that among our most important strategic priorities is indeed patient and family-centered care. As we reflect on the record of the past 25 years, which was certainly a prolific period of physical redevelopment, we can take a great deal of pride in knowing that we reaffirmed our commitment to the fundamental promise of medicine by focusing on innovation, opportunities for our workforce, and an absolute commitment to patient safety and patient and family-centered care. History will suggest that these 25 years constituted a transformative period as significant as any since Dr. Billings voiced the hope 125 years ago that the Johns Hopkins Hospital would become a model of its kind. Thank you.